Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL One Battlefield 4 Winter Cup #1. And as it is winter and things start cooling down, it just seems that the games keep getting hotter. That last one was fantastic, and this one proving that's going to be a good one as well. Two big teams, of course. We've got Penta going up against Epsilon.
Yeah, this is a game that you always, you can never quite call. I think that's going to be the main body of this one is you already have gone straight out. When we were talking about before, you were like, I can see this being a good game, but you're calling Penta straight out about me. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think it's as clear cut as that. Epsilon are a team who I've always kind of appreciated. It's not the Epsilon of old, though.
No, it has changed. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's funny. These players always end up being back in the same teams with each other. Yeah. Hexus did play for Epsilon at Gamescom. So he was in that lineup then. Horek Hunter is probably the interesting one. He's been brought across from Benny's team, who was EGZ, and I think they changed just before Gamescom, and God help us if we're going to keep track of that one. That team, as it were, I don't think it exists in that form anymore, but so Hunter is back with the SK teammates that he's played with before. Horek, of course, and Mayak are there to round out the roster. So it is a very, very strong team, don't get me wrong.
It's recognisable, but it's not the Epsilon that was going up against Fnatic and going to semi-finals constantly and beating Fnatic. Beating Fnatic, but challenging Fnatic on the regs.
That's right. And if we think back to Gamescom, Penta played some seriously good Battlefield. Like, for such a young squad as well, they really stepped up. They performed really, really well. They were definitely up there with Epsilon at the time as well. They had to play their deciders game, I think, the first game of day 2 or something. It was just epic. It was super close, and the emotions were running high for both teams. And Epsilon had to get over them before they even had a chance to take on Dexterity it was at the time. So, it was really, really competitive Battlefield is what we like to see. So Penta, as we said, they were maximum last season, and they were that team sort of who started off, definitely got off on the right foot, I think, when it came to the new format, understanding the smokes, understanding the basic strategy and how to approach things there, and they obviously had some good success, I think. Win a cup. They had their points are really good though.
They did. They were a team. I think it was the first two cups last season where they were the only team that really put in a whole lot of legwork into squad obliteration, and it showed. They had a lot of strategies that other teams have stolen since then. So they were the ones paving the way for everyone else, I think. Keep your eyes on Penta. Keep your eyes locked on Penta, because we could very well be seeing them in the final if Epsilon aren't operating in the same level that I look at those names. I've always been a big fan of Horek. I think everyone is because of his play style, because of the way he can operate.
Mayak as well.
Mayak's just crazy. People thought he cheated before he turned up at LAN. That's always something that isn't always mentioned as much, but that is exactly why Mayak can be classed as a crazy good player. You look at someone like Jika as well. Jika is one of those kind of strong silent types who won't say too much, but he'll be busy fragging.
Loves to play the flank as well. Always loves to be that lurker role.
Absolutely. So, he's going to go ahead and just throw the game on screen. We're not necessarily going to be running into game just yet, but you can see the players.
They're live.
They're live?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't even realise.
We'll jump in anyway. So, of course, obviously, Siege of Shanghai is our first map of this match, should I say. And, of course, Jika now rejoining the lineup of Epsilon. We can get this game underway. All right, so Bomb not being really contested that much at all at this stage. You can see now Cammy is probably the most forward player, has decent protection from this little balcony, and will be taking his time now as some of the shots are coming out from the sort of southern side of the map. But Y-Ros does go down. Cheeky bugger asked me not to speak Australian to him when I interviewed him, asked me to go for something more... how was it? More American or more English, I think. He said, can you speak American English or British English to me? And I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? I don't know how you expect me to do that. So I did it. I got him up on stage. I was like, all right, dear mate.
Hello there. Jolly good show. I don't know why I'm putting on an English accent. I kind of am. But either way, we are seeing a couple of flags go on. And as we kind of said, to reiterate the points we made already, can you do a summarized version of why Dawnbreaker is different to everyone else?
Well, I mean, quite simply, it's a really open map. The bomb is dropped smack bang in the middle. So, yeah, the bomb's in a neutral position like it would be on Operation Locker, but it is so open. You've got the bridge here as well. And these bomb sites are very open to flanks, and this is what we see attacking teams try to utilize as much as they possibly can. But right now, it's a bit of a scrap around the middle of the map here. You can see Y-Ros there just claiming that scalp of Hunter. Obviously, a very young player, actually, only 17, still may almost be 18. Just an excellent player. Wasn't able to play at the spring finals because of his age. Had to sit out and watch the rest of SK play. But hopefully he'll be old enough this time around. Very, very clever and switched on guy. Let's see what's happening here, though, now is, again, in Epsilon. Horek getting a couple kills there for himself. The bomb will be reset, so no one's even touched it from a starting position.
time. Just 2 minutes into this one, and we're going to be seeing already plenty of frags. I mean, it definitely has been a one-sided affair, 6-3. Horek's already picked up 4 frags himself, and I think it's going to be a case of this is more of a standard Dawnbreaker. I think we were treated to something a bit different beforehand with the infamous boys who were constantly kind of creating and forging an offensive in one medium or another. But right now we are just going to be seeing things hit that standstill, and that's exactly what you expect. Look at this. This is just quite literally a standoff between these guys as it comes down to who is going to be the fool who overextends first. Really
familiar with each other again. Both these two teams have played each other time and time and time again. Quite often going head-to-head in the semi-finals of our Cups, especially as what we sort of started to see last season. Both these teams sort of made it up until the sort of top 4, and that was where we started to see one team get over one another. But still, it's always been quite close between these ones here. Horek somehow catching hexes with those shots there. I think he was on the ground. He sort of shot his teammate there, so he will make good on that though and pick up QCK. And it's just Horek doing work. 5-0 right now. Finally gets taken down, but he's been able to push it up. But my God, this has been a very, very slow burn. Cammy though will go for the bomb for the first time. It looks like Penta making a very quick push down on this eastern flank towards C.
Now trying to get that bomb as comfortably locked in as possible. Won't be surprised if they kind of take their time with this one because they've been given so much room to move. Oh, he caught a glimpse of someone, didn't even get the spot. That's going to be costly as Lex does go down to Hexus. And now things could go tumbling out of control. Does get hunted down. Nice from QCK. He is definitely quick on the trigger. There's no denying that for a second, but he's not going to be given too easily. But Hunter eventually is dispatched up.
Oh, Cammy needs to hold on here. He does go down. He does get the kill with Lex that actually shot him in the back. You can't afford to be losing teammates at a time like this, but they still have 4 on the bomb side. Smoke goes up and it's going to be enough for Lex, but the shots are going to come through anyway, the blind shots, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, it will be. The bomb almost planted, now being dropped away. And GK just trying to hold on in this position right now. Oh, geez, neither of these teams are really getting close to wiped right now. It's very much 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. Yep. Now Penta go down to 2, and this might scuttle their offensive on this C side.
They're playing the trading game fantastically at this point, just keeping that dynamic whereby they're not going to overextend if the numbers don't allow them to. Again, here we go. Mayx find a double. That's the first squad wipe we're going to be seeing in this game as Penta get completely nullified, and now the counter push does start to take shape. They're going to be storming as fast as they can towards that bridge. They want to break that stalemate that they've previously found themselves in.
Horek gets himself a long way forward right now. He was very quick on this one, and he's going to be able to be the point guard right now. He can just start to set things up, get some spotting done as well, pass some important information back to his teammates so they can make informed decisions about how they're going to be moving forward with this bomb right now. Definitely, no one wrote the book on it, especially on a map like this one to try and to get that bomb from one side of the map to the other. A lot of pitfalls for the unwary here in Epsilon, just trying to cover all of their bases.
It looks like they're going to be doing a pretty damn good job of it. I think Horek's been fantastic and an incredibly influential force. 5 frags he had about 4 about 10 minutes ago, but the fact that he has been finally he is taken down. But look at the amount of leg room he gave them. Look at this. Epsilon completely pushed up. They've got a good handful of angles that they can hold. It's going to be Nold who's going to try and take them away from them.
There's a lot of smoke there.
Yeah, that's going to be, again, slowing them down. I think, one MCOM is going to be about as far as we're going to be able to push this first half.
Oh, look at Nold out towards the side, and Kamiko there spawned in and was able to join him. He does go down very, very quickly after, but Penta working from the side too as well, trying not to get bottlenecked in their own spawn. Let's see if they can just stay alive for this one here. It can be risky to be killed so far away from the rest of your team and have no one spawn in on you, but Wyros with a double. That's exactly what we need to see, and the bomb goes over to Penta. Well deserved.
Yeah, and they're going to avert themselves a plant here, I think. The spawns are going to be pretty damn distant. You can just jump on that mini-map and see just how far those spawns will be. No, I tell a lie, they actually managed to push straight through. You could have been even a lot more disastrous than that. Wasn't quite a squad wipe, though. That does give them a little bit of room.
Spawned it off Horek. I think he'd already ran.
Was Horek already up? Okay.
Yeah.
Felt like they'd be further back than that, but it does mean that the A site is going to be vulnerable to an attack. Smoke's going to be thrown out there by Wyros.
Great work. And Wyros has had a massive game so far. He's 10-4 right now as arguably the captain of Penta, and the bomb does go down. Nold obviously is dead, and the smoke now kind of working against Penta as they try and stop this defuse attempt right now. I think there is a player on there. No, we got taken down, so the bomb is still ticking away, and Hunter has to get up on this hill. He has to stop the Penta guys now from getting a really strong chokehold of this part of the map, and I think they may have done that right now. They're just in a very small flurry of gameplay have come forward and they've shaken them out of their territory.
That's the closest we're going to be seeing to an MCOM destruction, I think, in this first half. I'm getting a horrible feeling that this is going to be going into that 0-0 territory, which makes the second half all the more potent. Now, though, just 3 minutes left, and this is going to be probably the only chance they have. This is all Epsilon have in the first half, and I can tell you now that's Horek. I'm telling you, without even seeing his name, I'm telling you, that's Horek. There he is. He's the one at the front. He is the frontliner, and he's doing exactly the same thing. He is staying true to his role.
Always the first man at the site, and sometimes the last man standing as well, and it says a lot about a good FPS play. But Horek again coming forward does get the kill on towards Kamika. Always, he's just sowing discord and distraction here. Almost gets the second, but Lex will just be able to clinch that one out here. But Epsilon continue to come forward in waves inexorably and unstoppably at this point, moving towards his bomb site now, and it has been carried by Hexus. He's going to try and get it where it needs to go on that A side, and he should be able to get this one down here. There's not anyone from Penta to stop this. I mean, QCK is playing such a wide position, and Kami's coming in so wide as well, so going to be a fairly easy plan here for Epsilon.
2 minutes, and the bomb is going to be going down. This is going to be really scary for Penta, and it's going to be more scary as Kami does go down. A little hesitant to kind of overextend though, and that's kind of surprising looking at Hexus.
Yeah, well, you saw the smoke grenade fired off there, so he does know the enemy's close by, and he will just be able to pop up and take out Kamika. And this is that Penta are forced to spawn from out there, and now they can spawn back on their place here. QCK is on the side, but he has to get on the other side of those boxes, and that's where Peril will be awaiting here, because Hunter, he's going to be on the side. He's going to be able to be there to stop it, potentially at least. This might be done okay. This might be done in time. The frag grenade comes down. It should be enough to secure the kill. They can't get the defuse completed. Now QCK has to go back. He can still get this defuse done. Through the smoke, he takes down Horek. He will get the defuse by the skin of his teeth. Penta hanging in there.
Quite literally hanging in there. That was in the monkey siren. 10 seconds or less was going, and they just scraped it with that hip fire through the smoke. Kind of taking a leaf out of Zam's book from earlier today, who was doing exactly the same thing. Fantastic then, as it seems that this game is most definitely going to be neck and neck all the way. Looking to break Nex's Kami, as he actually is going to be taken down, courtesy of Hexus. And now with just 60 seconds left, I'm pretty sure we've seen the last potential push of the game. Yeah,
no time really for anything, especially on a map as big as Dawnbreaker is now. So now what you're going to see is taking his time, and Wyros continues to just belt faces in right now, 16-8. We're talking about Horek being such a beast coming forward now. I mean, Wyros has been doing just the same thing, albeit to greater effect, and he definitely benefit from his team being behind him in that regard, but they are all spawning in here. He should be able to easily defend this one out now, and Epsilon just going to sit on it for a while. Hexus on that middle bridge just trying to make a few cheeky shots there as well. Hard to connect from that kind of range with the ace. So he's just going to be trading fire for the moment here. And 20 seconds left, so half-time, as you said, how much more important are those income detonations when none were made in that first half?
It's just going to add so much extra weight to this one. I mean, this is the first map of a best of 3, of course, so not everything on the line for Dawnbreaker, but it truly does make a difference. We haven't seen too many 2-1s as of late. No. You know, you start, you finish in Battlefield 4, and it does look like we are going to be seeing the first round come to a close with 0 on the board, across the board, and that does not surprise me one bit. It's Dawnbreaker. It's the map that I have hailed as to be the slowest in Battlefield 4 history. And there we go again. Lots of fragging, 2 plants, I think, over the course of that one. And 2 diffusers.
Absolutely. You can see Lex doesn't have a lot of kills, but probably what's more concerning about that is the number of deaths. So he's losing a lot of those 1v1 situations there. It's not a matter of him not really being a part of those fights, as he's just being outplayed at this stage. So Penta would love to see him start to make his own resurgence there. Wyros definitely getting a bit of carry on there. And Penta had their opportunities in that half. There's no doubt about it. These two teams do seem evenly matched, although Epsilon are just a touch more confident moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I felt like, here I go, Mr. Beating a Dead Horse. Horek, again, was that man at the front. I didn't see the kind of the counterpart to him on Penta. There wasn't someone who was doing that over on Penta. It felt more of a, I guess I've got the spawn, I'll go for it. I think that is something that needs to be fulfilled by someone who's comfortable in that role. Just one man. QCK, you just frustrate them, push their spawn, keep them guessing, and that's not something we saw for Penta.
It doesn't matter who.
Exactly.
Well.
Oh, not at all. So but it does need to be that one man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to be jumping into our second half in a moment. And again, all we need is those 2 MCOM detonations from either team to end the half. If we still have a draw, we'll be going into our stopwatch mode, which we've already seen once tonight, even though we struggled to realise that was in fact what was actually happening. We're still getting reaccustomed, I guess, after our break to the game modes here as well. For those wondering where Jason Kaplan is, he'll be back next week alongside myself. And lucky you'll be getting to see a lot more of me this season But countdown's underway now, bro. So we're going to be jumping into this one. And I want to see now if Horek can continue to fulfill that role. Now, coming from the other side as well, we can see that Epsilon are going to be on the blue side here. And again, they don't have that really nice tactic available to them as you do on the red side, where you can sort of set up here. We talked about it earlier on the night. They can still use this area, but it's a bit more open than these buildings. But this also requires much more commitment to actually to come in here and defend it. You can't just sit from the outside and fire shots. You actually have to physically be inside that building complex. Whereas from here, you can throw nades, you can do whatever you like. You can control it from this side of the street a little bit easier. So very small differences, but as you can see, it's fairly symmetrical layout of this map.
Yeah, relevant differences though. I think you're right. I think that maybe you're more likely to be able to defend that A site when you're on the northern side of the map, just because I feel like it's slightly more difficult to initially get the bomb down, I guess, would be my argument for that one. I think that now we see the easier side in the hands of Epsilon.
So let's see what they can do with it here. That's the real question. Bomb obviously down in that standard location in the middle of the map. Rarely does it stray too far from this spot in the early parts of the round. The law's being fired out here. A few smoke grenades are going down as well, so these teams hoping, or at least wanting to just obscure their progress across the map and maybe jump up and get some sneaky kills, or at least take the enemy by surprise. Wyra's working on the end of the bridge here as well. Oh, easily takes down Jika there. Really, but hardly broke a sweat. And look how far up he can move now as well. Gives him that much more sort of command over this part of the map. But he chose not to. He's not pushed too far forward here, but look at these kills coming out as well. So Penta getting the better of those 1v1s earlier on, starting to creep their way forward.
Now, this is going to be the standstill, and so we're going to do exactly the same. Let's just slow it down, because this is going to be one for the long haul.
First kill coming out there for Epsilon of the round so far, of the half. So it took quite a while. It took over a minute for that to really happen.
Over a minute for a frag to happen, indeed. Which is why, it kind of describes just how surprised we were when we saw those earlier frags coming in for Infamous. It was a much faster-paced game, and we saw the way that went.
Hexus.
What did Hexus get up to?
I think he team killed Hunter.
He's just keeping him in line. Maybe he wasn't listening to his comms. But it does feel like Epsilon is definitely on the defensive here and being tested by Penta. Kami takes Hexus out, and so the numbers are starting to kind of tilt in Penta's favour.
Oh, Lex going to have a great position from here. He tries to come up from behind there, but Jika is able to shut him down. Wyros, though, is still causing problems here for Epsilon as he does take down Horek, and Kamiko has been able to move up here into this key position. He has the bomb. He's looking for Ray, but he knows that there are people quite close as Lex did go down. So he has to be careful about the way he approaches this one. Just sneaks around the corner for the plant.
He's getting away with it as well. Hunter and Horek have absolutely no kind of say in the matter. They
have so much control.
Completely locked out from Wyros, excuse me. And so the red side begins their assault, and it's been a very successful one. Look at this, 10 kills to 3, and they have complete control of the side. This is very, very nice. Yeah,
I mean, like Kami goes forward in that sort of underpass to try and, I guess, again, disrupt. But still, the entirety of Epsilon have to poke their heads up. They need to win aim battles with the guys in the building. That's hard to do. They better hope to have smoke so they can pop straight onto the site. That could force a commitment of players to that A side. But now, look, you can see the shots coming now. Hex is just trying to hang on there as well. Shot's going to come back from behind, but Nold suicides there. Not sure if that was on a grenade or what. Maybe he just couldn't do anything about that one here. Look at all the frag grenades on the site. There's no chance for Epsilon to defuse. Now they're going to try. Now the smoke's up. Shots coming through the smoke here, but it seems like no time is left. And although Mayak was doing some serious work with those kills, Penta get the first MCOM detonation of this match.
Yeah, the semi-final starts with a bang. Just one half gone before we do see the first one go down. And so Dawnbreaker is now most definitely sitting in the palms of Penta, as they have 6 minutes to make a decision. Go for a second, defend. There's so many different options, and I feel like we rarely see a team just quite literally lock in at this period and just say, okay, defend. I think there's always that kind of a team that will always send some form of offensive.
Oh, I'll tell you what, though, the kill feed is filling up with a lot of blue kills red here, as Epsilon actually got the squad wipe on Penta. Again, how much does it really mean on Dawnbreaker?
What does it mean?
We saw this on Operation Locker from Leak. They got the squad wipe and they got a plant and a detonation, but here it's a little bit trickier. However, they have managed to get across here. They're over towards the A side. Smoke is down. All the boxes are being ticked. And now we see Hex is trying to get the plant, but no, he will be taken down. He's going to get res though as Jika now comes through, and Hunter is the man in the revive there. But is the bomb down? Yes, just goes down. Hexus puts it on. And he's just going to try and sit tight now in this trench. And now it's up to Penta as well. Very quick turnaround here for Epsilon. Let's see if they can convert.
Now, that's going to be the real question, because this would put us back on level terms. So many plants in such a short frame of time is insanity on Dawnbreaker. But looking to make it reality is the Epsilon boys. I don't see any time. I don't see any players anywhere near this.
No, Penta being shoved back. I mean, Wyros is here. Lex is always playing that wide role. I don't know what he's looking for right now. He's not going to find anything as Epsilon have committed heavily to this push. Wyros trying to cross now towards the side. He has managed to take up position. Great kill on towards Maya. Can he hold on? No. Hexus will shut him down and send him packing. 2v2 situation now. Lex using every trick in the book, every bullet in his gun to try and get the job done, but it won't be enough. And there goes the Epsilon MCOM detonation. 1 apiece.
And there goes Penta's lead. That is back to 0-0 really on the board if you consider everything, as we are just 1 MCOM destruction each. 4 minutes left, and I mean, these teams now are going to be either making a decision: do we battle for this push, take a risk of overextending, or do we set our sights on that stopwatch?
If I know Penta or Epsilon, I think they'll come forward. I think they've still got 4 minutes and 30 seconds to make something happen here, and I don't really know if they want to take the chance of going to stopwatch as well. That would be, well, first, long-winded and difficult on a map like this, but secondly, also just risky, and maybe a risk they don't want to take. Maybe Epsilon, if they just hold their lines, can get another squad wipe. Look how far forward they're pushed as well. No chance for Penta to pick that bomb up there. They're being completely shoved in. Look at that. Jika can leisurely stroll over, pick up the bomb, and make his way over and plant it because Epsilon are already set up well and truly.
Yeah, big frags coming in as well. You can see that Epsilon even going to be getting revives, and Hexus is just picking the bodies up. And oh no, he's going to get pushed down. Surely, no, he's not. Finally, wow. Wyros is going to get forced out by that nade. Good positioning from him. The bomb's going to be going in the meantime, courtesy of Jika. And then look at this. This is a complete, like, this doesn't feel like the same two teams here on the second half.
This is incredibly impressive work from Epsilon. You're seeing teams linger a little bit longer now after they get that MCOM detonation. They don't push back. They don't try and find cover. And on a map like Dawnbreaker, on a map like Dawnbreaker as well, they're just coming forward. Always, always, always. And they completely zoned Penta away from that one. Penta had to first kill the Epsilon players in their base, who at least equal or outnumbered them at all times, and then go and get the bomb and then push across. It's just, it's a huge amount of things to try and do. Now you can see that Epsilon now, they're starting to have a bit of fun with it. They're really starting to pick up some kills, and Penta struggling to get over towards the side. Now that last 10 seconds remaining, and Jika, well, he's just going to be the sneaky bugger right now. All he needs to do is just stop this one. Oh, Kami gets up there. No, the detonation does complete, and Epsilon takes it with 2 MCOM detonations in that second half.
Oof, a sigh of relief from Jika as he had that one job, that one peak. Fortunately, there was some sort of support framework in place. Not good enough. And we do see the first half go the way of Epsilon. Rather, the second half, excuse me. I completely forgot about that nothing of a first half. But such a stark contrast. We have a victor for the first map. And, I mean, you look to that first half and it felt like, okay, this is going to be a slow one. Then you go into the second half and all of a sudden they find pace. They find frags. It was an incredible change of pace.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this Epsilon lineup. These guys, honestly, and nothing against, of course, Safe or David or players that I've used in the past, but these guys really seem to not have too many weaknesses, to be honest. They seem like coming forward as well. When they get control, it is so hard to wrest it away from them. And Penta is a young team, a team that's still sort of developing that experience and getting an understanding of really how to take games off these big teams. But even them with their individual skill was not enough to deal with Epsilon there. And you saw the scoreboard as well. It wasn't skewed in any one way. It was very much an even share between the two teams. And, well, Epsilon off to a great start here. And map 2 coming up is going to be Paracel Storm.
Yeah, Paracel Storm is a map we've already seen just once today, and a really interesting map at that. We saw it go into overtime, we saw things go right down to the wire, and I think this is the one where you're going to be seeing, hopefully, some more engineer classes. I'm a real advocate for the engineer class. I'm a sucker for Levolution, and there has been a little bit of a change-up since the change of game mode. Away from domination, you don't see such an amount of weight put onto clearing those middle buildings, but there is still kind of reasoning behind it.
Absolutely. And as we said before, if you do look at the map, The Chinese team, or the red side team, has honestly a lot of protection for themselves here as well. Like, if they want to push forward and take the bomb, or they're fighting over this neutral area, they have cover to fire into this scenario. Whereas US team don't have as much. It's more hilly, it's more open, so it can be a little bit more difficult, especially if they want to push down on towards his tennis court. It's a little bit hard to do so with good cover coming out from your teammates here. So, that's definitely one thing we need to be looking at here as well is, does that really affect things much? In the past, it hasn't. Honestly, it hasn't affected things much.
Yeah.
But, sites like this as well, the C side, if the American team, the US side, can get a plant down here. In fact, I'll illustrate this actually properly. You can get a plant down here. You can see the way that it's actually protected from this building. So players sitting up inside the building can do nothing to stop a plant or defuse here, and it requires a commitment from that team to push out and actually get onto the side and do something about it. So you can't just sit inside the buildings all the time. It's not really possible. And this one here as well. Now, it's inside a building, but it's right near the door on the outside. And this place, we often see it get completely
it's a frame. Yeah.
Levoluted, is that what happens?
Levolutionized.
I like that one.
That's nice. That sounds good.
So that's what happens. So we see a lot of laws being used on this building particularly. Sorry. And I'm struggling with my headset right now, seriously.
I feel like I want to show people. Wait. This is Mitch fiddling with his headset mid-cast. This is... What is that? It's like you're going for some Star Trek look.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know. I'm struggling. Anyway,
we're back. He's back.
So that's what they're going to try and do towards that building as well, specifically. And of course, you've got the trenches as well, which are important to play around. Always we see teams go there first. That's most often where they make that beeline for as well. As we said, if you want to be a part of what's happening inside the trenches, you need to commit to them. So you need to be inside them, because the way your sight line's working in this game as well, it's always super chaotic. And for teams that are being aggressive and have the numbers advantage, more often than not, it can pay off for them quite well.
I think you're right. And in terms of I always considered the B site more, especially on the Chinese side, more vulnerable. We had this discussion before, but now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm seeing the trench play becoming more prominent. Yep. I can see why. I mean, it's such a nasty choke point for planting, and as soon as the bomb is down, a nasty choke point for defusing. Like, it's this kind of crazy dynamic where you get a couple of frags and get the bomb down, you're as good as gold. Absolutely. Usually, you would expect, which is why we are seeing both teams kind of favour the trenches on either side of the map. But short delay, we are just seeing the players just take a quick break before they do dive into their second one, and we are just going to be able to talk a little bit more about some of these players in depth, because some of you guys may be new. If you are new, welcome, first of all, to the ESL One Battlefield 4. This is the winter season. This is the first day of the winter season kicking off, and we have already got a pretty expected bracket. Like, if I wanted to just kind of come into players in a second, we are just currently missing a man from Penta, but so far this has played out as you would expect. No surprises as of yet. The only real surprise maybe would be Infamous Leet. Yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of, established team, not so established team, but a team of players who have been from established teams. It's hard. That one there is well, I mean, even watching the game, it felt like a coin toss sometimes. It really, very, very close, but I'm glad we got on that one as well, because we were sort of selecting the games, and that's what we said earlier on, was like, who's Leet? Who is this team?
Who are they?
Never seen them, but it is a safe super team.
Is it? Do you know if it's safe that pulled them together?
Not sure.
It'll be interesting to find out the kind of backstory behind that one, considering both him and David were like chatting about retirement.
They were literally in the pool drinking margaritas together.
Yeah.
Seriously. And they were tweeting it. I'm like, you guys suck.
You guys. I don't know. Yeah, so we're missing a man from Penta. Just waiting for a little bit of info.
Yeah, so Kamika having to get the old...
I've always called him Cammy.
Cammy.
Maybe, did he add Kerr later for some reason? Is that why I'm calling him Cammy? Kamika.
He's always been Cammy.
He's always been Kamika? Okay.
Well,
I've always just shortened him to Cammy. Maybe I knew a Kamika.
I'm probably butchering the pronunciation.
Oh, yeah. It's like Kamikar or Kamikaze.
Yeah,
oh, true. It could be Kamikar.
And then there's the Quick or QCK.
Oh, yeah? What'd you go for?
Usually QCK, to be honest.
QCK kind of rolls off the tongue. QCK.
2 extra syllables, though, can be hard to say. But we digress a little bit.
We are.
We'll jump in a sec. We are obviously still waiting for our last player to join. However, I can give you guys a nice little fly-through as well as the teams do set themselves up here. And, of course, as we said, Epsilon now, I really feel like they have plugged a lot of the gaps that we've seen plague them in the past. I mean, it's always been talked about, the kind of players that they did have in the lineup previously as well. Safe, who could be an absolute firebrand one day and then be completely struggling the next. So, you never know with these guys. It's always very much an interesting scenario. But now, obviously, bringing in players like Hexus, who we saw at the last event, Jika as well, Hunter. In fact, this is, well, 3 players from old SK as well, if you can remember back that far. So we'll have to see now if they can continue to carry forward this momentum. It definitely was a lot of back and forth until that second half where, I'll be honest, things just started to explode for Epsilon. Always been a team in the top, but never the top. That's always been the problem. They can take away a cup, they can take away a win from Fnatic in the regular season, but when it comes down to it, especially offline, they do struggle. And obviously, that's just an environment where Fnatic thrives, and there's always, they don't mind dropping a cup here and there. They don't mind, not being on top for the regular season as long as they get to come to LAN, they get to do their thing. And they did exactly that at Gamescom. We're looking forward as well to our next finals as well. With these teams now, big mix-ups, players that have been part of their teams with their same teammates for so long now sort of being thrown into different scenarios. It's new permutations and combinations of players, so we have no idea what we might see.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the more exciting factors is, like, what on earth are you going to bring to the table? Like, I mean, look at this. Nod, Lex, Wyros, QCK, and Cammy. That's the kind of more stable roster. That's the one that we've seen time and time again. But then you just go ahead and throw this Horek, Mayek, scary Fragger backbone of, like, I don't know. They're a scary team, and I think that I like the uncertainty surrounding some of them.
Yeah, and I have Hunter in there as well. When I first started casting Battlefield as well, I had a chat to some of my Australian friends who played, so for VoxM and also your Death Dogs and stuff like that. And I said, like, tell us about some of these players. And one name came to mind for them immediately was Hunter. They had, like, a lot of respect over there, like, for him. Those teams he's been playing for a while. And he is young, but they say he's almost a prodigy at the game, or maybe not to that extent, but he's very good for such a young age as well. Has a good understanding of the game and keeps a really cool head. And we saw that at Gamescom as well. His team struggled, to be honest. They didn't really achieve the success I think they maybe deserved with that lineup and with their colour of players there. And now we're seeing a lot of these players sort of scattering off to their sort of different teams as well. So I don't even know what Benny's doing this season, for example.
Where is Benny? Sure. I mean, we saw EGZ. We would almost assumed he would be. Like, you even dubbed it Benny's team, but no.
Well, that's what I thought it was, but I think they left the org or something like that because it was Gino, Jera, Hunter, Benny, and one more person.
That's right. I remember the whole Jera and Benny combo. Yeah. Okay. So they've vacated the premises, it seems.
Yep.
Or maybe they're just not present for this cup.
Hunter had left that team. Hunter was in that line.
So that's one absence.
And then Benny, I saw him in game earlier on. Actually, was in chat. So maybe he's casting. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a possibility as well. Casting. Okay. Maybe we had to say goodbye to what was considered, a regular face of the Battlefield 4 scene, and maybe that a regular beard as well. We'll always remember.
It was quite short at Gamescom actually. Because
really did you trim it?
Yeah, he took it straight off. He took it all off. He put it on Twitter, and everyone went nuts.
You monster, Benny! How dare you? But I mean, we still are waiting, and no word from chat. If I come back to us, we can just have a little look at the admin, what the admins are saying, just so you guys get a little kind of mix up. You get a little bit of a fly through from Mitch. You get a little bit of our faces. You get a little bit of everything. As I think we are going back in action. Oh, fantastic! So we did actually manage to time it just a little bit poorly, but we are going to be going into our first semi-final, second game.
That's right. It is Paracel Storm. This could be the decider, honestly, with the way that Epsilon came out of the gates in that second half of Dawnbreaker. I wouldn't put it past them for them to continue to be ferocious from sort of point to point now in this game. So we are on the countdown here as well. When you are allowed one suicide now in the spawn time to creep a little bit further forward. We used to see teams with suicide like 10 times and they get super far forward, especially in the game mode of domination, which required you to sort of be as fast as you possibly could. So this time,
sometimes they get a boost. That's actually quite a lucky boost then for Hexus, as I think he's just going to be able to edge over. Nope, it's not going to happen. See you later, alligator. Slips off, and 10 seconds before we do jump on in then to see. You're calling this as a 2-0. I would be surprised to see Penta let it go so easy.
Here's the thing. Before the game started, I said I actually think Penta have this, but then seeing how Epsilon are playing together, obviously them being the unknown factor, I wasn't really confident putting all my eggs in that basket, as it were. But they've impressed me really still. But there's no reason for them not to. These are all very high caliber players in their own right. But sometimes when you bring a team of AIM stars together, you don't necessarily have the synergy that you would have from teams that maybe don't feature all top fraggers in all roles.
Okay, bomb for QCK. Or at least he's got the control of it. He's almost expecting an overextension from one of the Epsilon boys. Creepy, crawly Mayek. He is not going to be stopping that bomb from running away. In the meantime, there's been a complete bloodshed in the trenches. And there's going to be very little to show for it, really. Horek is going to have done a little bit of damage, just took off one frag. He is running the NG class alongside Nold for the enemy team. And the bomb is going to be loose. And look, what was that? Was that 3 for Jika? Yes, it was. Completely missed that. Even switched to his sidearm to take down Lex. And it looks like the bomb is going to be starting to set its sights towards our plant here. Wow, that was a fast plant. What, I'm so confused. Bomb goes down from Epsilon.
Yeah, this is what I mean. They're super, super fast coming forward. They did a lot of damage over here, actually. I think they killed both of the players from Penta that were there. Yeah. But now they've made their way across as well. And Jika, off the back of that 3-piece, how can you say no? I mean, how can you not take advantage of that one and continue to push forward? That's what he does best as well. He loves to lurk out wide on maps like this one. He has some cover if he's not spotted, and he can just be so devastating, especially when the enemy aren't aware of his presence. But here's Wyros now. Smoke everywhere. He's on the site, but he could be shot from anywhere. The 360 no-scope MLG from Wyros, but will it be enough? No, he got a lot of damage going in towards him now, and the bomb is still ticking away. What can he do? Pulls out the sidearm and sends Hunter packing.
Oh, and that's beautiful. That one rocket could most definitely have secured it, as they have timed it beautifully. Mayak's nade was there to secure it, but they do manage to pick it up. 2 extra bodies hit the deck, as Lex goes down to the s'more as well. And hello, Epsilon, you called it, and they've started to, as they mean to go on. Yep. Just 2 minutes in, we didn't see a frag until 2 minutes in Dawnbreaker. We've just seen an MCOM destruction in the first 2 minutes.
Crazy fast, and this could be that Epsilon will continue to build off this one as well. A second MCOM before 5 minutes left in the half is possible. We've seen it already tonight, and that just is a great way to take the wind out of a team's sails that you're going up against here. And Epsilon are ruthless. They've seen brutal so far, and this is honestly 100% better than the old Epsilon we've seen. They just don't play the same anymore. They used to play a lot more around singular fraggers and just try and maneuver them into positions to do damage, but now they can all do that, and they're all sort of playing independent of each other, but also as a cohesive unit. You just see kills and they're getting things off the back of individual players doing good work. Jika with 3, or Hex is laying down a lot of damage down on the bomb side. They don't need to, it's not rocket science for them anymore. They don't need to come up with anything super convoluted and complicated. They just do their thing, play natural Battlefield, and so far it's paying dividends.
Yeah, and Penta are looking a little lost. I mean, the fact that bomb's going down for a second time is just mind-blowing. And it could very well be a very, very quick semi-final if we're not too careful. Penta going to have to go into damage control mode, and then they're going to be struggling. Hexis wins a 1v1 VQCK. Hexis was happy to just continue down that path, as we are going to be seeing a little bit of flame on the basketball court. And more bodies dropping. Hunter this time picks up a double. He even takes Chica because he can.
Look at this.
And this is crazy.
Look at this now. Bomb is down. I think Epsilon are just taking control of this one. Nold is the last man standing. It's almost a full squad wipe, but there it is, coming out of the gates with ferocity. And Epsilon are going to take it 2-0 and bring it to halftime before half of the half is even finished. 6 minutes and 24 seconds left in the game. 3.5 down, and Epsilon have just steamrolled over the top of Penta in this half.
I am kind of gobsmacked. 2 frags from Jika. I mean, that's 2 plants from Jika getting a little distracted.
So
that's crazy good.
Oh my gosh, there, look at that. Jika, 7-3 as well. We've only seen 3.5 minutes. So many kills have already happened in that game as well. Penta, absolutely shell-shocked as well. Momentum is so much. People don't realize, I guess, what kind of impact it can have on a game, but this is it. I mean, Penta, they feel like as soon as they've logged into the game and readied up, they're up against the wall. Right now, they really have to pull up something special to hang on.
Oh, I got really excited then. I thought we'd seen a perfect counter of frags like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but QCK ruined it. Oh, that could have been.
Well, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4,
4, 4.
Mm.
Damn.
That would have been nice.
That would have been lovely.
It's the little things.
It is the little things. Little things for little minds.
Well, I'm a bit OCD about numbers and patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
What, like when a game's over and when it's not?
Oh, God help us. I honestly thought that game was done, really.
No, I didn't. I thought it was a draw, but then they were like GG and people left and we were like, okay, there we go. I guess we're wrong.
Completely threw me off.
Anyway, distractions aside, it does look like we're going to have to see something absolutely astounding to come out from the boys on the Penta side of things. A team that really did rule supreme at the start of the first season, or rather the prior season. Doesn't look like they're going to be given the same courtesy this time. As Mitch has taken us for a tour of the... I feel like this is
the secret part. This is part of the secret
building on Tutorial Island, isn't it? When you doing the run around on Battlefield 4.
Might be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's there. That's present.
I'm pretty sure it's available in Conquest. Well, I don't know. I'll maybe ask for a Battlefield aficionado to tell me that. So we're in a game. I'll be starting the countdown quite soon. And then these two teams will be going out at hammer and tongs, as we say back home. And honestly, man, it's Penta have to bring their own game. They must fire up here as well. It's good teams. Good teams, I guess, are the ones that can respond to a challenge like that and really just lift their game. They have to do it now.
That's absolutely correct, as we are going to be kicking this one off. Are we going to seriously be saying goodbye to Penta so early on in this semi-final? It's time to find some answers.
It almost seems unthinkable that would actually happen, but Penta, I mean, making it to the semi-final is pretty decent for them points-wise. Normally, they'd rather make the GF, but I mean, if you're finishing top 4 consistently every cup, you'll definitely be in the finals. That's just the way it works here. So, I mean, there were some teams that got into the finals. I think Leisure is a good example of this, who had only made it past the second round a couple times. So, it's fairly forgiving here. It is very much a good practice, though, as well, as teams really start to get each other's measure. I'm going to be kicking things off very, very soon. In the red side, it's going to be Penta hanging on for dear life. And in the blue, on an absolute rampage, Epsilon now want to close this out cleanly.
Let's see if they can do just that. Horek's the only one wielding the Engineer Class 4 now. Hunter at the forefront of the push. He's going to be the one to spearhead his way in, as we are going to be starting with a whole lot of cover. I think, look at that early smoke, and Hunter is just charging straight on down. He's ready to receive them. He's going to be knocking them actually pretty damn fast. Look at this. He's going to be completely uncontested. He's going to have a little bit of a back rage scenario coming on.
Yeah, I love me some back rage now as Hex is moving his way down as the bomb still on the ground in uncontested territory. Well, at least it was a moment ago, but there we go. QCK gets the kill on towards him. Back and forth. Here we go. At least Penta seem to be more doggedly contesting this part of the map now. Don't want to give the bomb away too easily. QCK has it strapped to his back, and he is running like lightning, trying to get out back towards Noel as well, who'll be able to give him some cover, and this is where they can start from. Penta, ideally, though, would probably like to head over towards the A side here. They do prefer, most teams in fact, do prefer to go to that trench to start things off. It's easier to hit, but Penta, here's the thing. They need 2 MCOMs this half, and they need it to go to overtime. I mean, that's just as simple as that. If Epsilon get 1 detonation in this half, it is game over. Because there's no way that Penta can match that.
And that's terrifying for Penta. Like, everything they're doing right now is being watched by under a microscope. You cannot afford to make any mistakes whatsoever. And it looks like Jika's going to be the one forcing their hand here, as he is the one charging forward, desperate to try and take that bomb out of their hands. He's going to be doing it pretty comfortably, I think, as he's essentially got a little bit of a wall hack. The spot comes in as if they needed to know his position anymore. What? QCK. Jika got comfortable, a little too comfortable, a little too confident, or confident, as I was going for there. As we are going to be having a little best of both scenario. And now, they still have control of the bomb, but I think we're going to see this one take a little bit of a slower pace, because in this position that Epsilon are currently in, they are happy to just chill it out and make Penta come to them. Look at their positions on the map.
Well, quite simply, but conversely as well, Penta can't afford to make mistakes right now. One slip up will cost them this match, and they know it too. So they're definitely, look at this, always like one step at a time, all together, just trying to make sure that they execute this correctly. But the frag, no small comes out from Horek, then sends Nold to an early grave. He will get res though, and we can see Wyros, captain of the team, now pushing up. Now just trying to get up in the face here, and he's going to find Jika. Will he be able to take 2? No, in fact, only the 1. So Wyros picks him up, but there's Lex coming in for a bit of backup. Will he be able to get the one on the side? Oh, he does. There's a double. He goes down to the ACW. Horek making a double. Really, really hard here for Penta to hold. And QCK spent so long sitting on the bomb. This might now go against him. Cammy, last man in squad right now. He has to hang in there as Wyros does get the spawn. But the bomb is already headed over towards that A side. And Epsilon have paved the way for Hunter to plant it nice and quickly.
Could this be curtains for Penta then? Hunter's going to be the one to try and provide the answer. Charging on forward, 30 meters and closing. Mayek's already there, clearing the scene, preparing for their demise. As the digits are being punched in. This could be it then. Penta, they're starting to claw the way back though. Jika's the first. He's going to be waiting to spawn back in. Rockets are being exchanged, but it just feels like Epsilon, whatever form Epsilon have currently taken, it is working.
Hexus there does take 1 out inside the buildings, and Cammy is forced to just stay down for the moment, maybe get the res on his teammate now as the grenade goes towards Mayek. He's able to dodge it, takes down Wide Ros. In the meantime, Penta are not making any headway towards his bomb site. They must get this defuse now. QCK goes down. He was the closest man to the site, and it's just Lex now. Nold spawning in off him, but they have to literally jump straight over the railing and hot-footed towards this site. Epsilon have shut them out completely, and Hexus now is just standing there with the troll face on, saying, "Come at us if you dare." He's holding it down like a champ. Jika there takes down Wyros. QCK is able to get through, but will there be enough time now? Jika does go down. There's just Horek left now, and he's not really close enough, so he has to jump down, but no, I think it's done. We're seeing players leave. That was actually the MCOM detonation. I missed it, but who cares? The game is done. That's because I'm casting so loud I can't hear the explosion.
That's great.
Great caster.
That's brilliant.
10 out of 10.
Well, you were just really wrapped up in that one, and understandably so, because that, my friend, was crazy. Epsilon picking up the win, and we are going to be seeing them advance to the grand finals.
Absolutely. So,
wow, like that. I feel like that was 20 minutes of Battlefield.
It was. Literally, it literally was, man. I mean, it started off a little bit slower on Dawnbreaker. That first half didn't seem super dynamic in. Both teams were very much getting a feel for it. But the second that Epsilon got I guess, a whiff of the blood in the water, they went in for the kill and cleaned it out so decisively as well. It seems like Penta, I think they just must have sniffed out on Penta that they were going to struggle to hold up against, constant aggression. Maybe again we're learning something here from the American scene, from the Brazilian scene, maybe specifically, because this kind of coming forward in waves, super aggressive, super skilled fragging is definitely something reminiscent of what we saw from Dexterity. But will it be enough for Fnatic if they make the final? I would say they would add a guess part, but you never know. Of course, they still have to take out their opponents. So. How's it going for you?
This is really difficult, really.
So we're trying to get our outro screen set up here. I think we're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back very, very soon with our grand final. It will be Epsilon versus the winner, of course, of the other semi-final that is underway at the moment. Leaked versus Fnatic, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Don't go too far, because we'll be back very, very shortly.